Okay, so prediction time. It's Nate's favorite time of the show.
I'd feel better if Jared also didn't pick perfect last week.
Man. There would have been some separation, dude.
You talk about Anthony Davis kind of stealing Damian Lillard's thunder. I feel like Jared
He creeped in on that one too, man.
I feel like he just did that.
What's your streak right now? You've picked a bunch in a row.
7, because they beat the Warriors right before the All-Star break, and I didn't pick them to do that.
Man.
I haven't picked wrong since the All-Star break. So I got that going.
It's pretty good.
So this week seems a little easier to call the games, but I'm curious to see if any of you, went in a different path. Yeah. They get the Warriors on Friday at the Moda Center. Going to be a great atmosphere.
Man,
I cannot wait for that game. If I could just stay at the Moda Center all night on Friday, that would be the life. And then who do they get after that? Monday. Yep. Miami Heat come to town.
Yep.
So your guys' predictions, where are we going with this?
Did anyone pick them to beat the Warriors on Friday?
That would be a negative for me.
Okay, negative. Jared?
Let's talk.
Okay, let's talk. I did not pick them to beat the Warriors. I picked them to go 1-1. I do think they'll beat the Heat pretty handily. The Heat.
Let's say, did anyone pick them to lose to the Heat?
I did not.
Okay, so
we're all in agreement on that.
They beat the Heat.
Heat have been playing bad over the last more than a month now. They haven't been playing well. So the Warriors game. The Blazers, they just beat them, obviously, a couple weeks ago. That was the best game the Blazers have probably played all season as far as a team effort went. And on the Warriors side, it was not their best effort. Kevin Durant went for 50, but Steph Curry and Klay Thompson really struggled to shoot in that game. Now, you can make the argument it was the Blazers' defense that did that. But to me, regardless of how good the Blazers' defense is, those two combined to shoot 12 of 32. That doesn't happen.
Was that from the field or on
from the field? They were 6 of 17 from 3 combined. That's not going to happen again.
Probably not.
And so, given that the Blazers played so well that first time, and the Warriors, I don't want to say they played poorly because they didn't, but 2 of their 3 best players really struggled to shoot the ball. I don't see all those things happening again. C.J. McCollum scored 29 points, had big buckets down the stretch to put that game away. Yusuf Nurkic had a double-double. Al-Farouq Aminu almost had a double-double. They had really good performances for the Blazers. And on the Warriors side, it was pretty much the Kevin Durant show.
Oh, it was.
Because he dropped 50.
Draymond Green played well.
He did as well. And so, given that game, the Blazers played so well, the Warriors didn't play their best game, and it was still close at the end. The Warriors still had a chance to go win that thing. I think the Warriors are going to beat them this go-around.
To your point, I just think that you're asking a lot out of the Blazers to play at that, to mimic what they did a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. Would I be surprised if the Blazers pull it off? No. But to your point, man, Steph has had a couple of poor halves, but has found a way to turn things around. I was surprised that Steph didn't get it going late.
I agree.
So I'm going 1-1 this week as well.
All right.
Here it is. You better have picked the Blazers with the way you set this all up.
I wrote my answer on KGW.com. I wrote it all out, and I had them losing to the Warriors. And as I wrote it, the more I kind of broke it down, the more I was like, you know what? I actually don't think I actually feel this way.
Okay.
So I rewrote it, and I picked the Blazers to win. Ooh. Now, everything that I know I should pick the Warriors. I know that the Warriors are a much better team than the Blazers.
This could cost you.
It could cost me.
This could be the biggest pick.
Out of my tie for
This could be the reason I bring in balloons.
All right, I know the reasons to pick the Warriors. They're going to be motivated because the Blazers beat them the last time they played. The Warriors have 11 more wins than Portland does. Look at their point differential. The Warriors is plus 9. Yeah. The Blazers for the season is plus 2. The Warriors are a much better team. I should pick the Warriors. But there are a lot of reasons to pick the Blazers too. Okay, Portland's going to be rested. Yeah. This is the first game they're going to have played since Tuesday. And let's be honest, that Tuesday game was more or less just a scrimmage.
Yeah.
So they're going to be rested. The Warriors are going to be playing the second game of a back-to-back, and they're playing against San Antonio the night before. And a late game on national television, so it's probably going to start late. There's going to be longer timeouts, longer halftime. It's going to end later than normal, so they're going to get into Portland very early
in the morning.
The game's at the Moda Center. Portland's won 14 of their last 15 games at the Moda Center. In their past 11 games, the Blazers are beating good teams. They beat the Warriors. They beat the Timberwolves. They beat the Jazz. They beat the Thunder. I don't know if the Thunder are actually a good team anymore, but they beat them. They beat the Lakers. The Lakers' playoff hopes are done, but they're a good team now.
Yeah.
So they're beating good teams. And the main thing for me is I can't pick against Damian Lillard anymore. Okay. Like, I didn't pick them to beat the Jazz coming out of the All-Star game, even though I thought they were. I kind of thought that they were going to win that game, and ever since then I'm like, Damian Lillard in the second half of seasons, the Blazers in the second half. Why am I picking against them? And I'm not going to like pick them to win every game the rest of the season, I don't think. But I just feel like there's a lot that's stacked up against the Warriors for this game. Mm-hmm. And I the way the Blazers are playing at home right now, I'm going out on a limb. I get that, but I'm picking the Blazers to win.
Well, to your point, to what Orlando said earlier, none of us will be surprised if the Blazers do beat them again. Because even in the past, the Blazers hadn't beat the Warriors in a long time before they beat them prior. But they had been competitive.
Especially at home.
Yeah.
Especially
in the playoffs, we saw them be competitive. And over the last 2 years, they didn't win a lot of games, but they were always kind of seemed to be right there with a chance to win. They just couldn't close it out because it ended up being Golden State was a better team. So I think are we all in agreement this is going to be a close game?
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I agree too. And it's going to be a fun one. And if they do win, like you think, man, they could really take off this team. We talked about how great they've been over the last 2-3 weeks. They beat Golden State again, man.
These are statement games.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. You want to talk about getting some national respect.
That'll do it, man.
Beat them again.
Yeah.
Man, that was a good conversation, boys. Just to add to it, ESPN says that Draymond Green thinks that Anthony Davis could edge James Harden as MVP. AD is putting them boys on his back.
Anthony Davis is injured.
That is true.
Bum, bum, ba-dum.
The Pelicans play the Wizards tomorrow night, and he's doubtful. Yeah, so their streak may come to an end.
So that'd be a even bigger win for the Warriors or for the Blazers if they win tomorrow night because the Pelicans are more likely to lose.
All eyes will be on that game Friday night. I cannot wait for it.
I want to hear from Max because he and I were talking before, and
I'm glad
he's downplaying his excellent take that I think is fantastic.
Oh, I forgot this was
coming.
But
I really want to hear from Max. He talked about the Blazers-Warriors game, and he made some good points. So, Max, I cede the floor to you.
Thank you. But having read your pick, I just pointed out that in the mildly absurd game that is this pick competition, I thought his pick was a smart one. Because
maybe that's why I liked his point so much because he told me
I was smart. That's the second time this week.
I didn't hear anything the rest of the way. I was just like, he thinks I'm smart.
You must have blacked out there. The reason is, I would not be surprised if one of the big 4 players for the Warriors sits out tomorrow night. Steve Kerr said we're going to rest guys. The team, Draymond said, if it happens, it happens. And the team has publicly said they're not fighting for the 1 seed.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If anybody, it's probably Draymond Green or Kevin Durant. Maybe just sits out to rest. But if that happens, then the Blazers' chances obviously increase dramatically. So it could be a big swing in these picks.
I don't like
a small counter to that. I was reading a San Francisco Chronicle column. I think it was Scott Ostler who wrote it, and it was after the Warriors. It was shortly after the All-Star break, and then when they'd won 4 in a row. And Klay Thompson, after that game, said they wanted to run the rest of the season. That was the Warriors' goal, that they don't want to lose another game the rest of the season. And so Osler went through and looked at the rest of their schedule and was like, they can totally do it. The only game that he said could be a hiccup was the Blazers game.
Man, that's interesting that he said that. I don't think they care. I don't, man.
Yeah.
They're only focused on the postseason.
The
I love that.
What matters
I love that point because if they do sit a key player, that does change the game.
Tonight, for example, they play the Spurs, and Andre Iguodala is out. David West is doubtful. They list him with injuries. If this was a playoff game, these guys could probably suit up and play. But
now, wasn't I right? Wasn't Max's point a great point?
Yeah, it was. It really was.
I understand why you liked it so much. Like I was telling him, this is now the second conversation this week I've been involved with you where someone has said you were smart. That was the adjective.
Now you know the trick. Tell me I'm smart, and I'm going to think everything you say is genius.
And on that note,
let's wrap it up.
Thank you.